Hello, amazing learners. You're welcome to another interestingly rewarding episode of English language lesson today. I believe you're fine, everyone. You're welcome to today's class. Our class today will be on consonant clusters. This video is brought to you by KIDULTS Learning Platform. As you might have known, I am your English language teacher, Esther Olowo. In this session, we will explore how multiple consonants can come together to form clusters and how mastering these clusters can significantly improve your pronunciation and fluency in English language. Understanding consonant clusters is essential for clear and effective communication, so we will be diving into some practical examples in exercises. Get ready to challenge your tongue and sharpen your speaking skills as we delve into the fascinating world of consonant clusters in today's class. Just as I said earlier, our topic for today is consonant clusters. Get your pen, get your books, and get ready to write as much as you can learn in today's lesson. So we will be going straight into the definition of consonant clusters. Consonant clusters occur when two or more consonants follow in a word without a vowel in between them. Consonant clusters occurs when two or more consonant sounds follow each other in a word without a vowel in between them. In other words, consonant clusters refer to sequences of two or more consonants that occur together within a word without any intervening vowel sounds. I'll take that again. Consonant clusters refer to sequences of two or more consonants that occur together within a word without any intervening vowel sounds between them. These clusters can be found either at the beginning, at the middle, or end of words and can greatly affect pronunciation and syllable structure. Okay, so before we continue on the types of consonant clusters and the positions they can appear in words, we will be looking at the importance of consonant clusters. Why are consonant clusters needed in words? Why is there need for consonants to cluster in words? And why do you need to know? Why do you need to identify the position of consonant clusters in a word? 1. It helps in accurate pronunciation of words. It helps you to pronounce words correctly. When you are familiar with the individual sounds present in a particular word, knowing full well that they are consonant sounds, you will be able to pronounce them correctly. So the knowledge of consonant clusters helps in accurate pronunciation of words. 2. It helps in decoding words and spelling correctly. It helps in decoding words and spelling them correctly. Those are the importance of consonant clusters. Okay, if you will remember very well, at the beginning of this class, I mentioned that we have types of consonant clusters based on the position of the cluster in a given word. Some consonant clusters usually occur at the beginning of words. These are called initial consonant clusters. Some appear at the middle of words and they are called medial consonant clusters, and others appear at the end of words. They are called final consonant clusters. Okay, so we'll be talking about the initial consonant clusters. Consonant clusters that appear at the beginning of a word are referred to as initial consonant clusters. They appear at the beginning of a given word. For example, let us look at consonant clusters that appear at the beginning of a word. In the beginning of the word blue, we have consonant B and consonant L, giving us blue. We have consonant S and consonant T, giving us stop. In the word stop, we have consonant S and consonant ts. Then in the word tree, we have consonants ts and consonant r. So blue, stop, tree all have consonant clusters at the beginning of them. Two consonant clusters at the beginning. Then we have words that have three consonant clusters at the beginning. They include words like splash, splash, sp, and is a cluster at the beginning of that word. Street, s, ts, and r is a cluster at the beginning of that word. Spring, s, p, and r is also a cluster at the beginning of that word. Okay, so we will be moving to the medial consonant clusters. Consonant clusters that appear at the middle of a word, typically across syllable boundaries, are referred to as medial consonant clusters. They appear at the middle of a word, majorly and typically across syllable boundaries. That is, they occur in the middle of two syllables. They occur in the middle of two syllables. That is what I mean by typically across syllable boundaries. So, medial consonant clusters are consonant clusters that occur at the middle of a word, typically across syllable boundaries. For examples, we have two consonant clusters occurring in the word window. Window, and d are the letters that cluster in that word. Then we have a word like simple, and p are the clusters in that word. So those words like window, simple are words that have two medial clusters in them. Then we have words that have three initial consonant clusters. Three medial consonant clusters. Three medial consonant clusters. They include words like banker, 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 and k, and k. Then we have words like temple, and l. There are three medial consonant sounds in the middle of the word temple, and l. There are three medial clusters in the middle of the word temple. Okay, so then we have final consonant clusters. These are consonant clusters that appear at the end of a word. Consonant clusters that appear at the end of a word are called final consonant clusters. So we will be looking at consonant clusters that appear at the beginning of a word, at the end of a word, two consonant clusters that appear at the end of a word. For example, in the word hand, we have n and d appearing at the end of that word hand. Best, we have s and ts. Park, we have and k appearing at the end of that word. Then we have three final clusters. Three final clusters in the word next. Next, we have k, s, and ts. Remember, I told you in my video on consonant sounds that when you are dealing with speech work, you have to make use of your ears to listen to the sound that you can hear. The letters that you can see do not matter majority of the time, but what you can hear, the sounds that you can hear, are what should be interpreted. For example, in the word next, we have X and T, but the X and T is sounding as k, s, and ts. So, next, k, s, and ts. Okay, so we have three consonants clustering at the end of the word next. Then we have the word word. We have r, l, and d clustering at the end of that word. Then we also have the word jumped. 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 So the consonant ants, ants are clusters at the end of the word jumped. Okay, so less commonly we have words like twelfths. Twelfths. That one has 4 consonant clusters at its end. Twelfths. We have f, th, and s in that word. F, th, and s at the final position of that word. So less commonly we usually have four consonant clusters at the final position of some words. Okay, so by means of summary, we have words that have consonant clusters at the middle, at the initial position, at the middle position, and at the final position. So those are the 3 types of consonant clusters based on their position in words. For the purpose of this video, we will be looking at more examples on consonant clusters based on their position and based on their number. Okay, so let us see what is the cluster in this word. In the word crab, we have as the cluster. So we will refer to that word as having 2 initial clusters in it. We will refer to it as having 2 initial clusters to it. Another example is the word trap, tray, bring. Those are good examples of words that have 2 initial clusters in them. What is the initial cluster in this word? Street. At the beginning of this word, we have s, and r, 3 of which are all consonants. So there are 3 initial consonants in this word. Other examples in this category are words like stray, stripe, strength, stripe, strength. They are good examples of words with 3 initial clusters. What is the cluster in this word? Talking. Okay, we have and k at the middle of this word. And k are consonant sounds that follow each other at the middle of this word. So we say the word has 2 medial clusters. Talking, we say that the word has 2 medial clusters. Walking, talking, they are good examples of words that have 2 medial clusters in them. Another example can be found in the word golden. 2 medial clusters are in the word golden. Golden is another example. What is the cluster in the word lamp? We have consonant and consonant p at the end of lamp. Another example is camp. Rent. 3 of those words, lamp, camp, rent, have consonants, 2 final consonant clusters in them. 2 final consonant clusters in. So we want to see words that have 3 final consonant clusters in them. And that is an example like word. It has 3 final consonant cluster in it. And d. There are 3 final consonant clusters in that word. So we want to look at an example of 3 final consonant sounds. 3 final consonant sounds can be found in the word next. There are 3 final consonant clustering at the end of the word next. Another example in this category is the word text. They both have 3 final consonant clusters at their end. So just as I said earlier, There are some rare occasions where we have 4 consonants clustering at the final position of words, but it is in less occasions than others. So, an example is in the word texts. Texts. Then I also said we have an example as twelfths. Twelfths. So, these two words have 4 consonants clustering at the final position in them. So it is otherwise called complex consonant clusters. When more than 2-3 clusters occur in a word, you say it is a complex consonant cluster. It is equally important to understand that in spite of all these rules, we have some exceptions. We have some exceptions to words that have two consonants following each other in a word. Whenever you have 2 consonants following each other in a word, if one of them is silent, then you do not refer to the word as having a cluster in it. For example, in the word night, K-N-I-G-H-T, there are 2 consonants following each other in it. For example, we have K and N following each other, but the K in night is silent because whenever K comes before an N, it is the N that will be heard, the K will be silent. The K will be silent while the N will be pronounced. Okay, so in the word night, there is no consonant cluster at the beginning of that word. There is no consonant cluster at the beginning of that word. Another good example that falls under the category of silent consonant clusters are words like gnome. Gnome. In the word gnome, G-N-O-M-E, the G is silent and the N is pronounced. So in that word, there is no consonant cluster at the beginning, neither is it in any place in the word. So gnome does not have a consonant cluster. Another good example is the word comb. Comb. C-O-M-B. The B in comb is silent, so you do not say that comb has a cluster in it. Another good example is the word thumb. Thumb. T-H-U-M-B. The B in thumb is silent, so there is no consonant cluster in that word also. So you should be able to identify words that have silent consonant letters in them. They are not going to be categorized as examples of words that have consonant clusters in them. So we have finally come to the end of our discussion on consonant clusters and examples. But let me know if you have any question to ask at the end of this class. We will be looking at some WAEC questions to test our knowledge on our study in this lesson. Number 1, we have the question, choose the word that has the same consonant cluster as the word given. Choose the word that has the same consonant cluster as the word given. We have the word strain, strain. So which of the words has the same consonant cluster as it? So you have to choose between option A, steam, B, crane, C, trill, D, straight. Choose an example of word that has the same consonant cluster as the given word. So the correct answer to that question is straight. Only straight has the same consonant sound cluster as the one in the word strain. So the consonant cluster s, ts, is present in both strain and straight. So that is why straight is the answer. Identify the consonant cluster in each of the following words. We will have a list of words. You have to identify the consonant cluster in them. So pick your pen and your paper and write out the consonant clusters in the word. Splash, night, scratch, branch, thrust. Do not forget to identify if there is any word that has a silent consonant sound in it. Splash, night, scratch, branch, and trust. Trust. So you have to pick the consonants, you have to show us the consonant cluster in the word. So we're going to be looking out for the clusters in each of the words given in the previous slide. In the word splash, we have s, p, and l, s, p, and l. In the word night, there is no cluster. We have consonants k and n. But remember I told you that we have some words that are exceptions. They are exceptional because they have silent consonant letters in them. So there is no consonant cluster in the word night, even though K and N follow each other. Then 3, in the word scratch. Scratch, we have s, k, and r. S, k, and r. In the word branch, we have b and r. B and r. In the word thrust, thrust, we have th and r. Th and r. Okay, so, but take note that when you're writing it as a symbol, the voiceless dental fricative will be written before you write your in the word thrust. So when you're writing it as a sound, you know the symbol to write, as I have already treated with you in my previous video on consonant sound and their symbols. Choose the word that does not have a consonant cluster in it. Choose the word that does not have a consonant cluster in it. A. Blame. B. Crown. C. Open. D. Shrink. The answer to that question is the word open. The word open does not contain any consonant clusters, but blame has b and l in it, crown has k and r in it, shrink has sh and r in it as consonant clusters, but open does not have any consonant cluster occurring in it. And so option C is our correct answer. Choose the word that does not have a consonant cluster in it. Choose the word that does not have a consonant cluster in it. A. Blame. B. Crown. C. Open. D. Shrink. The correct answer to that question is option A, the word complete. The word complete. So the consonant cluster m, p, and l is in the middle of the word complete. Which of the following words has a final consonant cluster? Which of the following words has a final consonant cluster? A. Jump. B. School. C. Car. D. Open. The correct answer to that word is jump. Jump. There is the consonant cluster m and p at the final position of the word jump. We have finally come to the end of today's class on consonant clusters. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this lesson video. Your commitment to learning and improving your understanding is truly appreciated. I hope you found the content helpful and engaging. Your support and dedication mean a lot, and I look forward to continuing this learning journey with you in future lessons. Thanks again for being a part of these. Thank you very much. Goodbye.